Hi, my name is Avery Botnick, and today I will be arguing the worth of a college education. As I began my senior year of high school this year, I realized that not all of my classmates had intentions of going to college after graduation. This shocked me because I simply thought that's what everyone did after graduation: go to college, figure out what their career goals are, and set out on said goals. During my English class, some kids began to say, "College is way too expensive. I'm going to start working rather than going into debt." This made me feel guilty in a sense because I'm privileged enough to have never had to worry about the cost of going to college. At the same time, I was intrigued and wanted to prove the stigma that going to college isn't worth the debt it comes with wrong. College is in fact worth the cost, and with educated decisions on career pathways and financial planning, college debt and costs can be greatly minimized. Getting a degree is simply worth the cost in many scenarios. Say, for instance, going away to college isn't really in someone's plan. Staying at home and going to a community college for a 2-year associate's degree makes a big difference. Melanie Hansen shares that someone with an associate's degree, on average, has 14.2% more earnings than someone with only a high school diploma. This could be easily done while maintaining a job, and one would already be able to find a higher paying job only 2 years after graduation. Even if one wanted to go all the way to obtain a master's degree, the cost is still worth what one gets out of it. In her article, Melanie also states that the average lifetime earning of a master's degree is $5.3 million, and the average starting salary is about $70,000. Some master's degree only take a 5th year of college, and with hard work, one can be making nearly 6 figures after only being in college for 5 years. This may not be enough convincing for some, because some may begin to argue that all of these earnings would simply go to paying off college debt. For a master's degree, it would only take 8.4 years for a full return on degree investment and 5.4 years for an associate's. This shows statistically that it's extremely improbable for one to live the rest of one's life, more so 10 years, in college debt. With educated decisions on how to approach different career paths, one can maximize the benefit of college while minimizing future debt. For a bachelor's degree, it is extremely important to determine a field of study and research its employment rate and salary before committing a great amount of time and money. For instance, Stephanie Owen and Isabel Sawhill share that art majors don't fare too well. The expected earnings of a college graduate with a theater degree are only about $6,000 more than one with a high school diploma. This isn't to argue that one shouldn't study art, but spending the money on a bachelor's degree in art surely isn't as lucrative or as wise as getting an associate's degree in art, possibly at a community college. As stated, one with an associate's degree makes 14.2% more earnings than one with only a high school degree. This would allow someone studying art to make more money as opposed to putting them in possible debt while only making $6,000 more a year than one with a high school diploma. Opposers like Scott Carlson argue that, if done right, students, parents, policy advocates, and colleges wouldn't simply focus on which disciplines or majors pay off the best and how to encourage or push students more into them. Instead, they'd focus on helping students see the relevant knowledge and useful skills they would learn in the disciplines they choose. Ignoring which majors pay off best would simply be irresponsible. As stated before, one can study any topic of their choice while making beneficial financial choices. If a student pushes away the fact that specific majors don't promise careers or pay after college, they are immediately set up for financial struggles. One needs to look at all of the facts before committing to a 4-year degree. With strategic planning, debt and college costs can be significantly reduced. One of the main arguments against going to college is that people graduate college in some form of debt. People are not wrong when they say this. A whopping 70% of college students will graduate with student loan debt. There are so many easy fixes to this problem if people took the time to educate themselves on how to do so. According to a published article from 2015, one can graduate from a top-notch college while coming out with little to no debt if done so correctly. The article recommends beginning your studies at a community college, then transfer to a 4-year college later. Tuition at community college is generally less expensive, so this cost-conscious way to build credits toward a bachelor's degree and still receive a 4-year diploma from a school of choice. This is a prime example of being able to get a degree from a college of choice without having to pay nearly as much, while disproving the fact that people can't go to a four-year university without going into debt, and shows that planning what path is financially best for one is key. As proven by a number of statistics, a college education is worth the cost. On top of this, with the right information on how to map out a career path and financially plan appropriately, debt and costs can be decreased drastically. Ultimately, what is at stake here is people missing out on the benefits of a college education because of the generalization that attending college will create a debt that takes a lifetime to pay off. These solutions challenge the idea that a higher education will only result in a financial burden, and can help people get a higher education and make a greater income, all while avoiding a great cost. If people take the correct steps in mapping out their future early, it allows them to really reap all of the benefits that a college education has to offer while avoiding the downsides. Great evidence proves that going to college is more than worth it. If people can take the time to map out their career paths and financial decisions and put in the extra work it takes to really be a successful and educated adult, then they will have no issue remaining debt-free after college.